and welcome back. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. Today we're going to be going over the things I purchased in 2020 that didn't really work out so well for me. So some of them are true fails in the sense that I totally regret ever purchasing them, but others are things that, you know, they're nice, but they're just not things that work for me. So I don't use them, and I do plan on giving them to friends who will be using them. So let's start off with brushes. Now, first up, I have the Surratt foundation brush. And this one, you know, I wasn't really sure if I should put this on the list or not, but it's just a bit scratchy. It actually applies foundation very well and everything looks great when you use it, but it's just not that comfortable to use because it is a little scratchy on the skin. So, you know, it's hard to say whether I regret purchasing this or not because it really does work well and gives you a nice finish, and I would have always been curious about it. So I don't regret it for that sense. However, it is one that I use when all of my other brushes are dirty. So I had to put it on the list just because it really didn't meet my expectations at all. I really expected something much more luxurious feeling, you know, like all the other Surratt brushes. I have almost every Surratt brush. They're all fantastic. This one isn't. I also wanted to include the Royalty Cosmetics natural hair brushes. Now, their synthetic hair brushes I have had no issue with. However, the natural hair ones, they still smell. So I had them in a product update video like a month ago, and you know, I tried some of the suggestions that people made, and I still can't get rid of that goat smell. It's not so bad when it's dry, but when it gets wet, it's kind of overwhelming. So the smell has definitely improved, but it's still not gone. They are not ones that I want to use purely because I can't stand the smell of them. So it's only the natural hair. The synthetic ones, once I washed them, they were fine. But I would not purchase the natural goat hair brushes from Royalty personally. So I don't recommend them. These I actually won in a giveaway, so I didn't purchase them myself. And, you know, they're something I am going to probably gift to, see if a friend wants them, or possibly my children. So somebody will use them, but it's not going to be me. I am keeping the synthetic brushes and the few that I mentioned in my update video, the ones that I liked, I will be keeping those and using those. Next up, I wanted to include the Dior Lipsticks I picked up from the holiday collection. Now, they're not all bad. This one here, Shimmery Red, I really like this one. I think it's a great lipstick, you know, it looks nice. I really like the shade. All of them in general, though, I'm not a fan of the smells much. I just prefer my the Chanel formula over these ones. But the one that actually made the fail list is number 070, Dazzling Beige. So that's this shade here. This was the one that I wanted the most because, you know, I mean, look at that. It looks like it's gonna be this gorgeous nude, but you can tell just even where I used it, how dry of a formula this is. It's very patchy on the lips. It's not comfortable, and it's very opaque, very chalk-like on the lips. So this is a true fail. I regret purchasing this. And unfortunately, even though these other ones are nice, because this one's so bad, it really makes me reconsider purchasing the others. So, I mean, I like the ones I have. I'm glad that I have the other ones. The Shimmery Red and the Dark Sparkle shade from the holiday collection are two that I really enjoy. However, this one was so bad that it makes me wonder if I would pick up more of these in the future. However, I did order some of the brand new Rouge Dior lipsticks that are from the new line. So we'll test those out and see how they compare. Next up, we have a controversial one. So for me, it's the Chanel Fall eyeshadow palettes. And I have to say, you know, they look gorgeous on other people. The formulas are fantastic. There's no problem with blending or pigmentation or anything like that. These just happen to be ones that don't look good on me. So I can kind of get them to work in looks that look okay, but they're just not something that I like or enjoy. And I regret purchasing them just because I know I'm not going to use them. So I am going to gift these to a friend who wants them, and they will look much better on her skin tone than they do on mine. Another one that is a little controversial is the Wayne Goss Blush Duo. And I have to say, I have one of these in my favorites, or well, not in my favorites, but I really like the Vivid Azalea one. That one I love, I use it. You know, there's nothing wrong with the formula. I just regret purchasing this color. This is the Blush Peony, and it's really just because of this sweetened highlight. And you can see it's like an iridescent pink. It's described as an iridescent pink, so, you know, it's nobody's fault or anything except for my own for ordering this. But the shade itself, you know, this is just a color combination that I don't like and I don't reach for. So again, you know, I'm going to hang on to this one for a little bit longer, but I'm probably going to end up giving this to a friend as well. Next up, another one that just didn't live up to my expectations is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Hollywood Superstar Glow Highlighter that came out for holidays. First of all, the packaging is not good. It's kind of like this in-between satin matte finish, and it just feels very cheap. So I don't like the packaging. It's way too large. I mean, who's gonna go through a highlighter like this unless you're dusting it all over your body? So I don't like the size of it. And you know, there's nothing wrong with the formula. It's not a formula that it's not a color that looks great on me. It's a little bit too metallic and a little bit too deep for me. So again, this is nothing wrong with the actual product, but it's just something that I myself regret purchasing because it doesn't look great on me. So again, I'm going to give this to a friend with a deeper skin tone who wants this. I feel like a broken record, but another product that, again, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just doesn't look great on me is the Chantecaille Safari Trio. Now, I am going to keep this. I am going to continue to use it. I like this taupe shade here, but none of these are super pigmented, and I don't love them together. So I like the shades individually mixed with other things, okay, but this formula, this is like I think it's like the Shine formula, I think they call it, and they sell them in the individual, you know, refills, and not the same shades, but the same formula. And I have some other shadows from them. They're just very light. They're just not my favorite formula from Shantakai. So while I have an appreciation for the formula, this color combination doesn't work for me. I would repurchase this again because I absolutely love the packaging. I love the case. But to be honest, I think I'm going to depot these. They do punch out. And I'm probably going to put in some of my other shades that I already have. I have some of the loose refills in a palette. So I will probably mix and match to get a color combination that works better for me. But I did want to include this because I know a lot of people missed out on this Safari Trio and they really wanted it. And I know people rave about this online. I just didn't love it. So it's not a true fail. It's just one that didn't work great for me. Now, some eyeshadows that I consider true fails would be the 3 Tom Ford quads that came out like last January or something. This one here is 27 Make Mirage, and we've got the Noir Fume, and I think he released 5. I have 3 of them. So this one here is 29 Noir Fume, and I thought this one was going to be my favorite out of the 3, but I actually think I like the Make Mirage Color Story better. And then also have 28 De La Creme. The problem for me is I don't like this formula. So I find it to be patchy. It doesn't blend out smoothly. And I found that these shadows performed a lot better when I first purchased them than they do when I go to use them now. And, you know, it's just, I don't like them. They have now put me off of this formula so much that I'm only purchasing quads that have the wet dry formula because I dislike these 3 so much. And I had such high hopes because I really did enjoy the color stories, but oh well. Now I had to think about whether I wanted to include these on this list or not, but these are the 2 Byredo color sticks I picked up. And you know, I actually think they're fun to play with, and I wouldn't mind having more to play with. However, they're not something I would use to actually go out in. You know, maybe I'll use these for like, just like if you're playing around for a few minutes, but the lasting ability of these is, in my opinion, abysmal. So this one, the light pink one, this is Flower Play. I like this one the best, but it's still just a little bit too light to use for blush. And this one is, it's a little bit, you can see it's like this glossy sheen. So I will use this. I will probably use this more as a lip gloss type product, but it doesn't work great as a blush. It's kind of like a sticky formula, like a sticky balm. So I don't love it on my face. This one here is a drier formula. This is Ultra Magnetic, and I actually love the color. Using this as an eyeliner is going to be my purpose for this, but I just had high hopes for these and they didn't live up to the expectations. So I decided to include them. But again, it's weird. Like, I wouldn't mind having like improved versions of these. I also wanted to include the By Terry Brightening CC Blush that came out this summer. This is shade 1, Rosy Flash. It's the only shade they have. This one took me months to get because it got lost in the mail. And then I finally got it and I was very disappointed. So it looks okay on the skin. You know, it's one of those ones that's kind of like a pain to pump out. You know, you either get too much or like it's a firm depressing motion that you need to use. So you have to push down kind of hard to get it out. And then, you know, you don't have as much control then over how much comes out because of that. So this is the blush, and there's nothing wrong with the shade. I think it's a pretty color, but it really shears out a ton. So then you end up piling on more and more and more just to get the pigmentation there. And I just didn't find that it lasts very well. So it's something that I regret purchasing because it took me a long time to get it. And then they canceled it, refunded me. Then it arrived, so then they recharged me. And at that point, I just wish I had just like returned it or something because it just wasn't really worth keeping. So now it's just sitting here in my drawer. So I don't know. I'm not even sure what to do with it because it is so incredibly light. But I'm going to play around with it some more. By the way, it does have that strong By Terry Rose smell. So when you keep piling on more and more of it to get it more pigmented, it gets stronger and stronger. So just a heads up. But I will, you know, try to get this to work more, but I think I'm going to have to mix it with some things. Maybe, oh, that's what I could do. I could create my own illuminator or something with this. So I will play around with this some more. Another controversial one, these are the Westminster Eyeshadows iPods, and I still use them once in a while. They were very expensive for what you get. There's not a ton of product in these, and the colors, sorry, I was dropping one. The colors just aren't the best for me. They all lean very warm, and you know, they're just, well, I guess not all of them, but they're still leaning warmer than I expected, especially for, you know, some of the like browner shades. It doesn't look like it would be super warm there, but then when you actually put it on, it's a bit warmer. There's definitely more of a yellow undertone to it than I thought there was going to be. So I like them. I don't love them. They crease on me too much, but because of the high price tag, I regret purchasing them. I believe each of these trios was $88. So if they were a more inexpensive product, they wouldn't be on this list, but because of the price tag, they are. And yeah, so they're okay. They're not a product that I will never use again or anything. I just don't find them to be worth what I paid for, and they didn't meet my expectations. Another eye product that didn't meet expectations for me would be the Rituel de Fille eye soot. So actually this one is a celestial sphere, and then I have an eye soot. So the eye soot is like a drier formula, and the celestial sphere is more of like that glossy texture. And These just don't work on my eyes, even with primer. Like they just crease like immediately, like the Byredo color sticks do actually. The other thing that I really don't like about these is the packaging. You can see, you know, it looks cute, right? Very cute idea, but functionally, I find it very challenging to get a brush or a finger in here because you can see how narrow this is. And when you still have a full container like I do here, it's not so bad. But once you start getting down there, it's hard, you know, to reach in there. You can see, you know, just trying to get, unless you want to get the product right here on the very tip of your finger, it's going to be hard to reach a finger in for that. And I actually preferred finger application with these. But even a brush, it's hard to get the product exactly where you want it on the brush in this shape of container. So I am not a fan of these. Another item I didn't like is the Clé de Peau Correcting Cream Veil. This is the SPF 21. And I am giving this to a friend before it expires so she can use it. And it's basically just a sunscreen, but the scent disturbs me because it's pretty strong. And considering it's a primer, I don't notice any effects that you would expect from a primer. It didn't help with any longevity. It's actually kind of greasy feeling on the skin. And it's basically just a scented sunscreen to me. So I tried my best to use it. I did use a portion of it, but I just really don't like it. Next up, we have the new formulas of the Couture Dough lipstick and lip gloss. And the lip gloss is okay. So this isn't truly on this list. You know, it's not a favorite lip gloss. So the lip gloss, it's okay. The lipstick, however, though, I really don't like the lipstick. And this shade here is PK02. And it's, you can see this is back and forth. So you can see it's still pretty sheer, but you can see even going back and forth that it's not a smooth application. I just feel like the pigmentation on here isn't smoothly dispersed. So when you put it on, it looks a little patchy. You definitely still have product going on smoothly. It's got kind of like a balmy texture to it, like a very lightweight lip balm. But I feel like the pigments just aren't going on as smoothly. So I don't like these. And then I also wanted to include Gucci lip balm and lipstick in No More Orchids. Now, I'm not talking about other shades. I don't have other shades actually, but the lip balm, you know, I picked this up after seeing another YouTuber talk about it. I forget who it was, but they were saying that this was their favorite, and it's too bright on me. It's better, I think, than the lipstick, but you know, I just don't love it. And I don't find it to be moisturizing, and it's scented. So I find it actually, the formula is a little stiff. So there's a little bit of extra drag when you apply it. So the lip balm, it's okay. Don't love it. Would not repurchase it. I don't use it, so I regret purchasing it in general. The lipstick, however, is also called No More Orchids. And at first I was like, okay, well, I shouldn't pick it up because, you know, it's the same as this lip balm. And I actually picked them up right around the same time, 2 different stores. So I got one before the other. But, you know, the pictures of the lipstick looked very different online than it does in person. It looked like a completely different color. And I've heard a lot of people mention that on YouTube. So that's the lipstick on the bottom. And it just looks terrible on. And, you know, with the scent and everything, I can deal with the scent in the lipstick if it is fantastic, but it's not. This color is not good. The formula was only okay. I didn't find it super comfortable or anything on the lips. So I don't know. I've heard good things about Gucci matte lipsticks, so maybe I'll try one of those next year, but I think I'm done trying the satin lipsticks and the lip balms because I really don't like these two at all. And my last item, which, sorry to say, this is the Hourglass Unlocked palette. So yeah, unfortunately, it's too dark for me, so I never reach for it. There are shades in here that I can use, you know, but I don't love them. And since the majority of the shades are just too deep for me, I just, yeah, I never reach for it. And honestly, you know, I'm not the biggest Hourglass fan. I like their products and I think a lot of them look very nice on, but I found these to be a little bit on the more powdery side than what I like. So I didn't love these overall. And then the fact that they're a little bit too deep for me, you know, just kind of sealed the deal. So I never used this. However, I have a friend who really wants it and missed out on it. So she will be gifted this. Oh, and I almost forgot. I have one last item. This is from the Chanel Spring Collection. This is the, I forget what the Gloss Lumiere Miroir Dough. I don't know how to say it. Water mirror or mirror of the water, something like that. But anyway, this is like this iridescent gloss. And if I remember correctly, they used it like kind of like as like a highlight on the eyes and a highlight like on the cheeks and so forth. So you can see like there's a pink iridescence to it. I use this more as lip balm. It's not moisturizing, but I will use it to, you know, add some color to my lips or whatever. But I regret purchasing this. And now at this point, I'm just trying to use it. So that's why I'm using it as lip balm, but it's definitely not something I enjoy using. And I found this one to be a waste of money. So I don't think I'll be picking up any more of these Gloss Lumieres. I didn't like the way it worked on my eyes and I didn't like it on my cheeks. It's okay on my lips. Well, I would love to know what you ended up not liking from your purchases this year. There are some other things that, you know, maybe I don't reach for, I don't love, but they weren't disliked as much as these items. And again, as I mentioned, these are not all like a true fail. I'm not saying the products are bad, just that perhaps the colors didn't work for me or there was something about them that I didn't like, which made me regret the purchase. So I don't really like using the term fail because, you know, again, the product itself isn't necessarily bad. There are a few of them that I think the product itself is bad, but in general, it's really just that it's a purchase that I regret because it doesn't work well for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope to see you soon. Have a great day and stay safe and healthy.